So,
that's a good way to start this one.
Doctor Who Centenary special. Jodie's final adventure, yeah. There's a lot going on. We had the trailer. I did a reaction myself, sort of straight afterwards. My second time seeing it. But yeah, we've got Miles here, and we're just going to have a bit of a discussion about all the different elements at play, the things we've learned, the characters that are returning, that we learned from the trailer and press release and stuff, and just what our thoughts are, initial thoughts. I guess we'll do a sort of predictions thing near the time, but
whenever that is. Don't know
whenever October or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, off the bat, then, how did you find that trailer?
It is like, obviously it starts and you get that moment of like, oh, so here we go, and there's the shot of Jodie, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, now this is big. Things build up. Ashad turns up. I was like, wow,
that was like the first kind of what?
We'll go into it all, but that was the kind of first sort of oh wow, that's nice. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. The Master shows up. Like,
did you have any reaction to the Daleks as well? Or did you just think, oh, it's the Daleks?
The Daleks was sort of like. I was like, well, it's a series finale. Of course they're going to turn up. Yeah.
It's a weird one because I genuinely thought they were sort of done with the Daleks, maybe. But
so did I. Like the way we were talking about Eve of the Daleks, we're like, so this might well be the last time we see the Daleks. Exactly. No, it's not. Nope. You're gonna have to go and redo that video you did of all their appearances now. So yeah, there's that, you know, the Ashad, the Master, and it was like, okay, well, we know the Master's coming back, but it's nice to see him again in a new bit of footage.
Totally.
And then it cuts to black, and we hear an Australian accent saying the word Ace, and it kind of overlaid my brain. I was like, "There's one companion being mentioned. It's not."
Did you actually hear Ace being mentioned first time round?
Didn't she say? She says she does say, Ace. Yeah. It's been 4 decades.
I think when I watched it for the first time, I didn't pick up on that, but I saw Janet Fielding. I was like, "What?" You know, that was the moment for me. But yeah, when you watch it back, obviously she does say the name Ace, and it's like, oh, I should have known that. I should have
because I heard but my brain just kind of went into mush because I didn't quite register what was going on. I just heard the word Ace. I heard the accent. Janet Fielding pops up on screen in 2022 as Tegan
with a smartphone.
I made an audible. Thankfully, no one else was in the room, but I made an audible noise that sounded like I was giving birth. It was just really. I couldn't speak. In fact, I've got a little look. This is my reaction. That's literally the second after it. I hadn't said a word. Yeah, so there you go. That's the kind of initial thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Tegan. But I'm just going to unpack all this. Ace pops up.
Yeah.
And it kind of all went into like I didn't register anything else after that point.
Like when I saw, I'm trying to think back now. So what I first thought when I saw those shots of the two companions in question. For some reason, I think one of the first things I thought was like the background in the shot of Tegan just reminded me of like the place where Yaz lives, like Park Hill. I don't know why.
Possibly.
It probably isn't, but the overriding thing for me was like, this feels like we've just stepped into like a behind the scenes documentary or
a collection box set trailer. It was really weird.
Because it sort of felt, I'm watching Janet Fielding. Oh no, I'm watching Tegan.
I'm watching Tegan.
I'm watching Sophie Aldred. I'm watching Ace. Because it felt like I was watching like a fan film or something. Where they'd twisted Sophie Aldred's arm, got her to come back in a bit. I mean, this raises the question, doesn't it? I suppose, and it's true of everything that's in this trailer and everything we know about the story so far, the different characters and stuff, as to how big a role they will actually play.
That's the thing.
Because obviously, what we've seen, they have a little sort of like Zoom call or FaceTime thing, which fairly easy to film. Because you've got to think about how, in terms of like spoilers and stuff getting out, how they would have kept it under wraps as well.
Totally under wraps.
Like with Captain Jack, for example, in Fugitive, that was all just like in one room. Like it's that sort of practical thing of like, you got to kind of think in that mindset of, okay, they've got these characters back, but they kept it secret. How do they keep it a secret? Probably by not having them in it too much.
Probably
maybe
not by having a box that says the name of the character coming back.
Tegan props.
Tegan props.
It's their smartphones or like Nitro 9, whatever. But like
machine gun.
Because like so that shot. I don't know if you saw the filming when they were like, I think it's called Hodge House in Cardiff or something like that. It's like this big office building basically, and there was some speculation about units.
Okay.
This was like back in the summer of last year.
Oh, I do remember units.
There was like a unit insignia on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
like they put in. So clearly that's where they are in the shot where they're firing at whatever they're firing.
And obviously Kate Stewart's back, so maybe she's bringing them all back together.
Because it's interesting to think about how the different elements are going to play into each other. Like thinking back now, obviously we saw Kate with the Cybermen. I wonder whether
a promo picture of Kate as well with the gun.
Oh, but then again, because we see Ace with the Dalek, don't we, in the trailer? So...
And in her
jacket,
Ace jacket, which I didn't register at all when I saw the trailer. But then I saw this screenshot going around on Twitter, and I was like, "My God, it's a bronze Dalek! It's Ace in her jacket with the baseball bat."
I know.
Wow. But my fear is, are we going to have another Vanquishers situation?
Yeah.
Where Kate Stewart's in it, and we're so excited, like, oh my god, Kate Stewart's back. Like Izzy absolutely adores Kate Stewart. Like, it's one of her favourite characters from the show. She was really excited. Like, she was more excited, obviously more excited about Kate Stewart than Tegan. She has no idea who Tegan is. But she did recognise the Ace bit. She was like, oh, that's a nice reference. And I was like, how do you remember the Daleks? But so is it going to be another situation where they appear and it's kind of a case of too many cooks in the
I joked about this on Twitter. I was like, oh, the Centenary is basically going to be the Vanquishers, but just with like the Grand Serpents and Sontarans and Ravagers swapped out for the Master and Ashad, and Jericho and Claire swapped out for Tegan and Ace. Because quite a few elements are still like there. Like Vinder's going to be back, Kate's going to be back.
Yeah, Vinder's going to be back as well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because I've seen criticism of like, it's Daleks and Cybermen again, and it's a funny one because I did have a moment like I think when we were previewing Eve of the Daleks, whatever, where I was like, I don't want to see the Bronze Daleks again, and now I'm sort of at that point where I've got over that a bit, but then
you see them and you're kind of like, why?
Yeah, like why?
Like I just instinctively know. It's going to be a case. We saw that trailer after Survivors of the Flux, where there's a shot of the Daleks, there's a shot of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
And instinctively.
But you see, that's confusing as well. How they? Because I thought I had a theory at the time with that. Oh, they've reused footage of the Daleks from Revolution of the Daleks, so that means they're not showing any new footage for future episodes. That means they're not in the Centenary.
Right, sure, yeah.
I guess it was just because they had the spaceship set or whatever. But
but it feels confusing. Like I already know that the Daleks are just going to be superfluous. Like they're not going to be an element of the plot at all. It's just going to be the Master's got the Daleks here, and he's because the Master's entwined with the Cybermen, but the Daleks, where the hell have they come from? and the fact that the only shots we've seen of the Daleks is a shot of them in a cave sort of ready setting, and a shot of Ace beating one up in that same setting. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a throwaway scene or something like that.
I think at some Comic-Con or other, in some interview a couple of months back, John Bishop mentioned filming some scenes in some caves.
Right.
So I'm assuming that's what that is.
Sure.
I think at the time people
in his orange spacesuit.
Well, yeah. People thinking, it could be like part of Legend of the Sea Devils, like a Sea Devil base or something. But no, it's this, I think.
It's just there's so much. And I don't know how long this Centenary special is going to be. Is it going to be an hour and a half or?
I think it's got to be at least. Well, yeah, at least that. Well,
at least that,
hopefully.
Because it needs to be.
It needs to be.
Because
it needs to be.
There is not only like so much to wrap up, like Thasmin, and I mean, are they going to touch on the Timeless Child arc?
Yeah,
I was thinking about all this stuff from
Flux. I've forgotten about all this, like the Fob Watch and stuff.
The Fob Watch,
still there, waiting to come back. Like, I guess that's going to be the big Deus Ex Machina thing of like, she pulls out the Fob Watch, blasts out the energy or something, and it saves the day. Or she sacrifices her memory.
Do you want to put money on it? Do you want to put a tenner on that?
It's got to be something like that. Yeah. It's got to be.
Because there's that on top of the fact. Don't get me wrong, I'm so excited to see Ace and Tegan back. Same amount of excitement I was to see the Sea Devils back as well. They know exactly Chibnall knows exactly what he's doing. But there's just so much now in the mix. It's gonna be so hard to do it effectively. There is a lot. I am excited, but I'm also apprehensive because there's so much to do. it's going to be interesting to see whether he pulls it off.
It is. I mean, how are these elements going to interact with each other? And I was kind of thinking,
how
myself this morning, last night, whenever with Ace and Tegan coming back, they're probably going to do that sort of thing they did with Captain Jack in Revolution with. Well, they didn't really do it, I suppose, did they? But they sort of hinted it with Ryan and Graham leaving. In the trailer, they sort of made out he's going to be there to help them make the decision to leave, and it never happened. But it's going to be something similar to that, maybe, where I guess Ace and Tegan will get scenes with Yaz and Dan, and it'll be sort of thing for them Yaz and Dan seeing what companions of the Doctor can go on to do, and that will sort of tie into their exit, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't know whether anything based off what we know of Tegan and Ace in the expanded media plays into that. Because, we already know that it's all contradicted, Big Finish, but what always happens. Yeah. We were saying this before we were recording, Big Finish is always contradicted, but then that means that the book that Sophie Aldred wrote with her and 13 now doesn't come into it.
I was saying to you as well, probably the solution is it got fluxed.
It got fluxed.
That whole timeline where they met, it got fluxed.
Or whether the whole Russell T Davies has a bit of an impact, because obviously he implies that Tegan and Nyssa are married.
Yeah.
Where's Nyssa?
I know, this was a thing. I said in my reaction, where are Nyssa and Adric? Then I realised that Adric was dead.
So that's that answers. He's in the ground.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because there's two things to say. Number one, you got to think of it from the actor's perspective and from the character's perspective. From the character's perspective, I was kind of thinking to myself, who else? If it hadn't been Tegan and Ace, who else could they have brought back? Or are they leaving anyone out? I guess would be the way to think of it.
Do you reckon there is others they're holding back to reveal actually in the episode?
I don't know.
Because
it would be a weird choice if they had just revealed two of them now. Right?
And also not to do Tegan down, but it's an odd.
Well, this is the thing, I think, because you've got to think about
that's why it surprised me so much.
And obviously we've had some of the collection trailers as well dealing with this, so we know that Mel and Ace as well, of course, she's off with a charity or whatever. Mel
and apparently met the Seventh Doctor, but obviously it wasn't. It was just some guy with an umbrella behind the door. Just mess around with her.
Gosh. In fact, isn't there a Big Finish audio where she's in charge of a charity?
There's a Big Finish with the 11 and that. So that obviously has been.
I haven't seen the Doctor in 3 decades. 3
decades, yeah. It's you've done a lot of that before then.
She's been time travelling. But so obviously we know that Mel has gone off and done her thing. We know that Perry's gone off and done her thing, from the trailers. Which characters haven't we got closure for? And I guess Tegan is one of those. And Tegan is one of those that would still be around on Earth as well. I guess thinking about it in that sense, because I don't know, Turlo's. Did he go back to his home planet or something? Nyssa, I guess Nyssa did,
but then Russell implies that she came back.
But I guess it's that thing of looking at who's still around on Earth, and when you look at it like that in terms of the 80s companions, I guess it's just those two. But maybe discounting expanded media. And Ace, God knows what in different timelines, and she died and all this stuff. It's all up for discussion.
It's just really bizarre. I'm really excited, but it's just I don't know how Chibnall sat down. Maybe there are other companions coming back that they've just held back.
Because this is the thing I was saying,
Joe Grant. Why is Joe Grant?
In terms of the actors, it's a bit of a shame. I know Adric died. God bless Matthew Waterhouse. It's a bit of a shame they can't just give him a little cameo or something. Maybe inside
just pops up in her regeneration when she's got all the faces swirling around. It's me, isn't it?
Or the Dalek, lift at the Dalek and it's Adric inside. Or, I don't know, something like that.
Or a Cyberman, a converted Cyberman.
Yeah. But it's the same with that Sarah Sutton, because unless they just ignore, they leave her off in space somewhere, it'll be a bit weird to have Tegan without. Even without that relationship thing, just because they were such a sort of.
I can't imagine Janet Fielding agreeing to it without going. What about Sarah?
This is the thing. You got to kind of wonder what the other sort of companion actors are sort of thinking in the background, messaging each other, and
Matthew Waterhouse sat there by his phone. It's only a matter of time, surely.
Oh dear! Have you seen this?
I didn't know you were doing that.
Oh dear! Because in terms of other, who else could we have had then?
Joe Grant.
I guess she's had one return already, but it would be nice to see her again.
It's set up for her
who's there, sure, who's around on Earth.
Obviously, we're losing a few.
Can't have Sarah, can't have Harry.
Can have Ian.
Yeah.
But then again, William Russell is about 102 now.
And so I mean, it basically is like what Leela, Romana, and then like these two, Nissa. I'm losing track now. What
Nissa,
have we got to?
Adric, Nissa, Tegan,
we
Turlo.
We sort of know where Perry and Mel have, like if we include the trailers,
they're off.
We sort of know what they're doing. Because I was thinking about this as well. What even was the trailer for the season 18 set? Because like
it was just Tom Baker narrating footage of. It was a kind of travel documentary. It was like go to Argolius and bask in the sunlight.
They've missed their chance now to do something with Sarah Sutton, haven't they? Unless they do it in the main show. So that's like one of those. Like, because I'm just thinking about it in terms of different classic companions and like which of them have got closure and stuff and which of them haven't.
No, Sarah Sutton could be in the season 20. Season 20?
Oh,
20, yeah.
20, of course.
She's got that one, yeah. The one who hasn't got a chance now is Matthew Waterhouse. His seasons are out and finished.
Totally. Yeah.
So
of course, yeah.
I really, it would be really bizarre to see Tegan on her own, but it's just so weird, isn't it? I think I was more shocked at the fact that I totally didn't expect it.
Because had you heard the rumours about Ace? Because there were rumours about Ace.
No, I hadn't heard rumours about Ace.
Yeah.
No. So that was another thing unexpected. But it's again, it's like the Sea Devils for Ace, because it's like people for ages have been going, when's Ace going to pop up? When's Ace going to make 13th Doctor?
It does sort of scream to me as well, like, I'm excited, but like you do kind of think to yourself, why haven't they done this already? Like either in this era or in a previous era or something. Like bringing these characters back. Like it's taken this long.
Yeah, it's a real shame. I would love to have seen an episode with just Ace.
Yeah,
like a school reunion type one.
Totally.
Because and if you look back, like that's the thing that really made School Reunion is such a good example of bringing an old companion back, because Sarah Jane is integral to that story. You couldn't have any other companion in that. You couldn't have had Jo in that situation. You couldn't have had any other character.
Sure.
It needed to be Sarah Jane because the story linked into that so much.
Yeah.
This whole thing of everything has its time, everything ends, and then all the stuff about, they address where the Doctor and her are at. And I think that almost, like, because it was done so well in School Reunion, everyone goes, yeah, we should have them back, And then you have someone brought back, like Captain Jack, and nothing gets done with them. Like, Captain Jack, an immortal character, doesn't even die in that episode. He just says, I'm Captain Jack, I'm immortal, just in case you forgot, I'm immortal.
You're right. I mean, you've got to kind of think back to previous times as it's happened in the era, like you're saying, sort of think, are they going to do the characters justice?
Especially when there's so much around
so many others,
I don't want to be. It feels like I'm pissing on his chips, but it's like, there's so much. There's a lot to do, and I want to address Ace being back properly. I want to address Tegan being back properly.
I mean, I guess at least for them, it's the first time they've been in it since then. Like, whereas with Kate Stewart, it's just like business as usual. Oh yeah, hello, she's back again. Or like Vinder or whatever. It's not going to be as big a thing for them. But at least
like
with
Vinder might well be a scene like a kind of build up to it. Like in Good Man Goes to War, there's that scene when God, like so and so's back. The
like
planes,
Captain Avery from
Pirates. Yeah. Like I can imagine that like the chips are down, and then it's like, oh, Vinder's back. He's helping out, or But Kate Stewart.
Yeah, because there is a shot where he's pointing a gun at someone in the trailer. Just saying.
There's a shot where that's possible. There's a shot where Yaz is pointing a gun at someone.
There is, yeah. People picked up on that. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be like her. Like people are saying, "Oh, she's gonna betray the dog." I don't think that's gonna happen.
No. Although she is with the Master.
She is, but because
did she go right? If you're not gonna have me, Doctor, I'll go for Sasha Duran instead.
I think the Doctor is also in that scene, because that location I spotted as well. The window in the background matches the. Like, I think it's a disused church or something where they shot the master props bits. So that's going to be an interesting one to see what they use that location as. Like, I don't know, the master's gone to church all of a sudden. I don't know what's happening there. Like, repent. Sunday school.
Or is it the meddling monk?
Oh, dear.
Another one added to that.
But on the companions as well, I was kind of thinking it's interesting as well, because obviously with Ace being the last classic companion, does this sort of mark a point now where, like, maybe we don't get classic companions again after this? Like, I'm not saying I'd like refuse that, but it would be weird to bring back someone from an earlier point in the show when they could have done that now instead. Or like, obviously not quite in that sense, but like, Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it mean they've had their time? Because also as well, it's exciting to me because seeing them kind of makes me think about how in 30 or 40 years we're going to be getting
Martha.
Whichever character. I mean, different people like different companions from the new series, so I'm not going to name names.
Bradley Walsh comes along in a Zimmer frame.
But yeah, like, it's just exciting to me that could happen.
Like, these will be classic companions. Well, Martha.
We'll be watching Doctor Who with our kids and stuff.
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, I remember them.
I remember them ones. Yeah. I remember Ryan. He was crap. But isn't it weird the notion that? But like you say, classic companions ends with Ace, but it really ends with the Tennant era or the Smith era. Like, technically, Amy is a classic companion in a sense. These are from different eras of the show, so who knows whether that's gonna.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, maybe this marks the end of maybe of the classic series companions, and then maybe they start up with the new series ones. Like, I don't know, just whenever. Like maybe as soon as RTD2. I don't know, just probably not. But just like a final note as well. It does sort of leave us thinking where's the 60th going to go after this?
I mean,
one obvious thing to say maybe is that they've got the classic companions back now, so they can have the classic Doctors back in the next one.
Well, are they going to have the classic Doctors back in the Centenary? Do you think that's?
I've heard rumours as well about that. I don't know what's going on.
Do you reckon they were in Amsterdam not filming the season 20 trailer, as has been rumoured for ages? Were they actually filming the Centenary?
Oh dear.
Peter Davison, Sarah Sutton, and Nissa.
Because I think a couple of them were spotted in Cardiff with David Bradley, but that was meant to be for like a documentary or something. I think wasn't it?
Something like that. But it's always been rumoured. Do you remember when Heaven Sent was meant to have Paul McGann in it because he was seen in Cardiff around the time they were filming it?
Yeah, I remember seeing David Tennant spotted in Cardiff during the Capaldi era.
When is he not?
Well, exactly. Yeah.
There's a lot.
Lots pack in, yeah.
It's almost like Russell's going to come to the 60th and go, well, you've used everything now.
It does make me more inclined to say that maybe the 60th is going to be like more of a soft reboot and looking forward
as opposed to looking back.
As well, I mean, did you see that article going around about how apparently like an official BBC press release, they've said the 14th Doctor is expected to be announced in the coming weeks.
Really? BBC
that was
said
like
that?
at the end of an official an article about the press release about the Centenary.
Right. That was an official BBC thing.
Yeah. Oh. Do you think they're gonna do that now? Because I'm still in the boat where I think they've managed to hold it off so long. If they could just hold it off until the autumn, that would be so nice.
It would be, wouldn't it?
But at the same time, I can see why we've got a 6-month gap now. They probably want to like have a little peak there to sort of keep interest going. And like it coming to the summer again, like all these big sports events. They love a bit of that, don't they? So
we've got Redacted to keep us going for 10 weeks.
We have. I haven't listened to the first episode yet.
It's very good.
Out,
better than Legend of the Sea.
If anyone doesn't know, this is the audio podcast thing.
Audio drama more than anything else, really.
Well, of course, it is a drama first and foremost, isn't it? Yeah, whatever you call it. But yeah, like, how was that? Because it's got returning characters, got some new characters. It has actually,
yeah. Even in this, in the first episode, there's a lot of links. Weirdly, Partners in Crime is the biggest influence on this episode.
I saw that Penny Carter was in the list of characters.
Penny Carter,
it's a different actress, I think.
It is a different actress,
but yeah,
it's the same character.
Wow, there we go.
All Adipose Industries is a big part of this first episode.
Wow, okay.
And someone pops up, and we know who's going to pop up, but I won't spoil it for you. But the character pops up at the end in a way.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So one of the characters that's been announced as being part of it. That was very nice.
Sure.
It was just very nice to hear this character. But yeah, no, it was great. I'm looking forward to the rest of it.
It's going to be weekly installments, I think, isn't it, for like 10 weeks now. So yeah,
very digestible, 20-minute
parts. That can keep us going for a bit.
It's good, better than Legend of the Sea Devils.
Well, I do feel sorry for that and for Gina Dawson, the author as well of that. Like, it kind of got a bit eclipsed, didn't it, by everything else was going on.
I get why they wanted to we'll put it in with it. But it was like it was announced 2 weeks ago, and here it is.
Yeah, so hopefully that can sort of have its time in.
But it's good
in the limelight, and I guess as well does that. Well, I mean, I say this like they haven't just eclipsed a little audio thing going on, but like, does that mean they're going to hold off on any 14th Doctor announcement until after that, maybe? Or maybe they're just going to say, what the hell, let's just do it whenever we feel like it.
Yeah, I reckon they will announce it. It's only inevitable, isn't it? Because like you say, they need something to pique people's interest and keep people going, because it's such a long time.
It is, isn't it? It is.
Like, is it? I mean,
well, it's like 6 months, isn't it? So
yeah, basically half a year.
Yeah.
So it would make sense maybe in summertime to announce, a bit like Jodie's announcement.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, yeah. It's a shame, because you're right, it would be lovely to have the first surprise regeneration and pop up. And
I mean, if nothing else, if they could just continue this trend that they've had with the New Doctor announcements, while they've been getting like bigger and more like impressive in scale and stuff, like obviously with the in-character clip we had last time, just keep that trend going.
Mm-hmm. I'd like that to be the announcement as opposed to a Next Doctor live thing again.
Oh god, yeah, god.
I think they work a lot better, don't they? It's kind of like
it's weird, because I sort of get which is weird. Yeah, obviously we've only had, I think, the one new series Doctor announcements at this, or like in the summer. I think David said it was like April or something, wasn't he? But like, I don't know. I get vibes like going into summer now. It sort of feels like, oh yeah, I'm sort of expecting that to happen again,
because it happened before.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Also, wasn't it weird watching Legend of the Sea Devils when it was still light outside?
Oh,
I forgot what it's like to watch Doctor Who go out when it's still.
It's going to be the only episode, I think someone said, and yeah, I agree with them. Of course, it's true that went out during daylight hours, wasn't it? Like, yeah. Because everything else has been like November or
it's
October or whatever.
I sat down and I was like, oh my god, it's still light outside. This is weird. It feels like it should get dark.
Yeah. But there we go. So we've covered a lot there. The Centenary trailer.
Yeah.
Redacted. 14th Doctor, 60th, all that sort of stuff.
Just let us know everything on here.
Everything. Let us know your thoughts.
And
just how you're feeling about all that sort of stuff. And we'll see you at some point in the future.
Hopefully before the Centenary.
Hopefully before Centenary, yeah.
Maybe for the 14th Doctor announcement.
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows?
What should be announced today?
Oh dear. Bro. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.